2, The Idiot's Lantern, the 7th episode of Series 2, is written by Mark Gatiss and starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. A writer, Gareth Roberts, suggested Mark Gatiss to name this episode The Idiot's Lantern, and he did. This episode is set in London, 1953, the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. So it begins with the guy who works in a television shop called Mr. Magpie, played by Ron Cook, and I think he's great. Funny thing is, those two appeared in Series 2, and well, they're in the Thunderbirds live action movie. The villain in this episode is The Wire, some kind of interface using that character image from the telly to take off people's face, which is interesting. I think Maureen Lipman did well performed. I just liked when she's like, "I'm hungry," and "feed me." It's another iconic thing for me. She originally was going to take Magpie's face off, but decided to leave it on and use him as a servant. It's a great gag for this episode when Granny is like, "I hear the television rots your brain into soup and pouring out of your ears." That's what the television does. Rose looked pretty in that episode, and the Doctor had, gelled his hair back, and when he puts his glasses on, he looks like Egon Spengler from Ghostbusters. I liked seeing them riding on the motorbike in the street, and they thought they were in New York, which I'm guessing in Queens, which is where they thought they were in, plus someone gets kidnapped, so when the Doctor and Rose followed them, they got away and disguised their entrance as a cleaning area, which is a great hiding place. Jamie Foreman is Eddie Conley, the dad. He is so good! The actor in real life is a nice guy, and his character, you'd absolutely hate him. Plus I did remember years ago when I saw my mum watching EastEnders and he was there, and I think it was the scene with the bar fight. I don't know, I can't exactly remember as I've never really watched it. Deborah Gillett and Rory Jennings is great as Rita and Tommy Conley. When Eddie is like, "I am talking," that was like, wow. He is really strict. So the Doctor and Rose investigates this house as a representative for Queen and Country. I love the Doctor's line when he's like, "Would you suggest a Queen does the housework?" And Eddie is like, "No, not at all." That really crackled me up. So the Doctor gave Eddie the Union Jack flags to hang them up. When Eddie was starting to have a go at the Doctor and was like, "I am talking," and the Doctor got up and he's like, "And I'm not listening." I was like, yes! When they went inside the bedroom, it's like a horror movie when you see an old lady moving in the dark, and when they turn the light on, it reveals that her face is gone, with a jump scare, and that was well done, believe it or not. So when the men, which they turn out to be policemen, have broken in and abducted her, just like all the other faceless people, which is serious stuff. I like the way when the Doctor was like this to the cleaning crew. Oh, very good. I also love the bit when the Doctor goes inside a cage and sees the other faceless people. It was so scary. The way they moved their hands like this, and they moved with the camera shots and the music. Wow, that is so scary. When Rose confronts Magpie and meets the Wire, she takes her face off. It was funny when the Doctor was talking to Detective Inspector Bishop, was like, "I know you can't wrap your hand around your elbow and make your fingers meet." And Detective Inspector Bishop was like, "Don't get clever with me." And he was embarrassed when the Doctor sees his name in the collar and says, "Bless your mum." When he sees faceless Rose, when he finds out that she was chucked in the street, and the Doctor was like, "Right, we're moving out." So the Doctor and Detective Inspector were asking Tommy on what was going on, and it turns out Eddie told the police about the faceless people, which is why they abducted. When the Doctor, Tommy and Detective Inspector investigate Magpie's shop, they meet the Wire, and when she tries to take their faces off, that effect looks so freaky, it kind of freaked me out. At least the Doctor and Tommy have still got their faces, but Detective Inspector didn't though. I love the scene when the Doctor and Magpie were climbing on the Alexandra Palace, a headquarters for BBC television in the 1950s, and wiring the tower with the epic music. It's a blast to watch. Because Magpie wanted peace that the Wire promised him, she disintegrated him. So when Tommy and the Doctor swords the Wire, while she tries to take the face off the other viewers, The plan works and the wire is turned off and trapped into the VHS, which is interesting. And yeah, Eddie got kicked out because, well, it wasn't his house. It's the granny who owns it. And yeah, Rose tells Tommy to go to his dad when he's moving away, and yeah, he's a nasty piece of work, but we haven't seen him hitting his family at least. At the end of the day, they are family, and I can see why Rose asks Tommy to go to his dad, and not to mention what happened to Rose's dad. So yeah, they ended with the Doctor and Rose at the party celebrating the coronation with the rest of the street. So yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. What's your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.